Americans living another day in Biden's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad economy. In a new piece for the New York Post, former Trump economic advisor Steve Moore says the average 401k plan, the nest egg most of us have at our employers, has lost $34,000 since the start of last year. Altogether, that adds up to $2.1 trillion in losses. Steve Moore is in focus now. Steve, how do we get any of that back? Or is this just the Biden stamp on our lives that taints it forever? Because you can't retire right now.
That's for sure. Hi, Harris. Great to be with you. You know, I looked at that. I was just looking at that Fox poll you were just citing, and it finds, I guess I was sort of surprised that 35% of Americans still approve of the way that Biden is handling the economy, because I can't think of anything that's going right with the economy. You've got record high gasoline prices. You have inflation at its 40-year high. You have our national debt that's been increased by $4 trillion in 21 months. A friend of mine just texted me this morning, Harris, that in California they're paying close to $7 a gallon for gas. I mean, I could go on and on. And so this new study that we just did that you're just citing finds that, you know, the average family, and these are mostly seniors or people getting close to retirement.
Yeah.
They have lost, and this is essentially what we're talking about here, Harris, is their lifetime savings. All of the money that they've saved during their working years, sometimes for 30 or 40 years. And that 401k plan, if it's an average size plan, has lost about $34,000 in value. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, and it's a lot of sweat equity, and it's a lot of dreaming of what life could be after you've raised your children, you've done all that. You want your grandkids to come back and rock in chairs with you and know that you can tell your stories, your family history, and get them some Christmas presents along the way. And when you're wiped out, I mean, all of that wiped out. It's just heartbreaking. And it only took a year. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg apparently has no regrets about the administration's spending, however, despite the raging inflation. Let's watch together.
If we hadn't done that, if we hadn't rescued the economy through the American Rescue Plan, we would not have had the 10 million jobs that were created under this president. We wouldn't be seeing some of the lowest unemployment numbers in the history of the republic. We would be faced with the kinds of problems that we were faced with when the president arrived, which was an economy that was facing a very real risk of free fall.
And here's a look at all that spending. With the president in office fewer than 2 years ago, or 2 years rather, some of those outlays overlap, but the total hovers around $4 trillion. What does that mean, Steve?
Well, you know, you said that I was insulted by the way things are going. I'm more infuriated, and especially when I hear Pete Buttigieg lie about the condition of the economy. I mean, look, let's face it. If you look back at the last 6 months of the Trump administration as we were coming out of COVID, the economy was booming, Harris. We had businesses reopening. We had people going back to work. COVID was behind us. We had that vaccine coming out. The thing that is most infuriating is the economy. We shouldn't be talking about a recession right now. We should be growing a boom time. As my friend Larry Kudlow from Fox says very well, that Biden inherited a high-growth economy with low inflation, and he's turned it into a low-growth economy with the highest inflation rate in 40 years. By the way, Pete Buttigieg, I seem to recall, was the man who was supposed to be in charge of the supply chain problems.
Yes.
These problems are worse than ever, Pete. Get on the job, and why don't you fix these?
Yeah, and he's got 2 young children, so you think he could still fix that baby formula crisis, which we don't spend a lot of time on. But moms and dads out there, they know that there's still a problem. White House economic advisor Cecilia Rouse was pressed on when the so-called Inflation Reduction Act would start to bring down inflation. You know, we've been asking for weeks. But anyway, let's watch.
Many parts of the bill will start to take effect next year. For example, there are tax credits for energy to help people weatherize their homes and also bring down other forms of energy costs. So we are focused on helping to make that transition to clean energy in a way that brings down energy costs for families.
Wow. I mean, that's not just a disconnect. Those talking points are from fantasy world.
So I think you know this statistic, Harris, but I want to repeat it because it's something that people should keep in mind when they go to the polls in November. The inflation rate when Donald Trump left office was 1.5%.
Oh, Lord.
1.5%. The gas price was $2.59 a gallon. Now it's almost $2 a gallon higher. The most important thing for people to remember about inflation is the reason we have these horrible inflation numbers is because Biden spent, borrowed, and printed $4 trillion. Hard stop. That's all there is. Until, and by the way, when Republicans come in, because I think they will take Congress, they better start hacking some of this excess spending. We're going to have inflation for a long time to come.
Just real quickly, I want to point this out. You said when Trump left office, inflation was rocking 1.5%.
Yes.
You know why that's also so critical? Because we were buying more stuff than ever
Right.
before and having it land on our porches because we were locked down by local and higher governments. We were locked down. So if that wasn't the height of demand, what would be? I mean,
Well,
that is
great point.
incredible that things have risen so high now at a point when it was really at our lowest in terms of where we were as America and the pandemic. Fascinating. Last quick thought.
Just that it's not just the high prices. Have you tried to rent a car recently, Harris?
Yeah.
I got into O'Hare Airport a couple weeks ago. There was no cars. You couldn't
That's
rent
right.
a car for $400 a day. Try buying a new car. You go to a new car showroom, you have to wait 6 to 9
That's
months
why the rentals
to get
are gone.
the car. It's unbelievable.
Because of the supply chain
That's right.
crisis with trying to get the cars here. Call
Exactly.
Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah.
All right, Steve Moore, thank you.